Why healing or reversing an autoimmune condition is certainly possible, and why your gut is the key to all of that, and a few other things like immunity. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. My name is Anindita and I am a functional medicine certified health coach and practitioner, and I work with women with autoimmune conditions so that they can reverse their symptoms with their bodies as their guide. It is possible to reverse autoimmune disease. In other words, healing is possible even if there is no cure. But the biggest mistake that people make is believing that autoimmune conditions cannot be reversed because they have never been told of that, or they are not made aware of this fact. And so they only depend on medications to manage their condition because they believe that is the only option that they have. And because of that, they spend a lifetime on medications, right? Typically immune suppressive medications or steroids, but they don't get any better, and usually they go on to develop more autoimmune conditions in the future, right? Because I don't know if you need to know this. I mean, having one autoimmune condition makes it more likely that you will have, makes it 3 times more likely that you will develop more conditions in the future. And this is because autoimmune conditions do not develop out of the blue. There is a dis-ease in the immune system. There is a form of immune dysregulation that is happening at the core. And this dysregulation of our immune system is happening in large part because of the disconnect between our genes and the lifestyle and the world that we live in. So in other words, while our genetic foundation or over years, our world has changed a lot. We are exposed to many more toxins that our body can handle. We are leading a life that is very hectic, very fast paced, and our bodies have still not caught up with that. And as a result, our immune system is struggling to figure out how to respond to it, because that's their job. They respond to anything that they think is a threat. So whether it's the food that you're consuming, whether it's the toxin that you're exposed to inadvertently, or the stress that you're dealing with, your immune system is taking notes every single day, every single second, and deciding whether to respond or not. So there is this huge disconnect that has happened. And if you add to this that you have inherited certain genes that predispose you to a particular autoimmune condition or any other condition for that matter, and then your gut health is compromised, when there is a trigger, and it's typically an environmental trigger like a toxic, like an infection, like any kind of infection or a toxic load or a mold or something that happens, then that's enough to set off autoimmune activation. That's typically how this disease process starts, right? And I've talked about how symptoms are the last thing that come of it, and it often takes years, if not decades, for us to develop and or get a diagnosis simply because enough tissue damage has not occurred yet. So we live day to day without even realizing that there is an autoimmune activity going on. And so this is where gut health is of primary importance. And in fact, I had a client of mine, she had multiple health issues, including an autoimmune condition of the thyroid, but she was not yet on any medication because she had come to me, by and large early. She had other issues like severe eczema, asthma, etc. These are all classic symptoms of immune dysregulation, but she had not yet been put on any medications, etc. But she was living a very pretty limited life, and it was only when she focused on her gut health that her symptoms actually drastically reduced, right? So she didn't have to get on any medications thereafter. Her eczema cleared up, her asthma went away. That's the beauty of focusing on what are the true root causes of your condition, right? And gut plays a huge role in that. And again, I've talked about it earlier, but in this particular session, I took her through the SIMPLE, or the simple model that comes under the simplified pillar of my 3-pillar framework, which is called the Body-Wise Healing Framework, which I've developed over years of working with women with various chronic conditions. The other 2 pillars are Reconnect and Sustain. So the simple model is what helped this client, and it's S stands for strengthen energy production, I stands for increase body awareness, M stands for maximize nutrient intake and absorption. P stands for prioritize what nourishes you. L stands for lighten your toxic burden, and E stands for enrich your life with love and compassion. So in her particular case, we maximized her nutrient intake and absorption, which is what we did by focusing on her gut, on her digestion, on her absorption, with the help of supplements, with the help of certain foods. So if you're able to do this, if you're able to maximize nutrient absorption by focusing on your digestion, in different ways, and whether it's, and also focus on home cooked foods with lots of vegetables, and eliminate gluten and dairy if possible, you will see a huge reduction in the symptoms or huge improvements in your energy level, reduction in your pain. So this is certainly possible. Next, I'm going to talk about another area that is often overlooked, right? It's the role of the environmental toxins. And this is what I'm talking about. This is one of the most overlooked triggers when it comes to autoimmune disease activation, toxins. My name is Anindita, and I'm a functional medicine certified health coach, and I'm talking about how you can reverse autoimmune conditions and what are the factors at play here. And I am talking about focusing on your body's toxic load, because this is one area that many people, if not most people, miss out on addressing their own body's toxic burden. Here is what most people do. They focus so much on the fact that once they have got the genes or inherited the genes for a particular disease, they never find out that genetics actually account only for 25% of the chance that they will develop the condition. That means the remaining 75% of the picture is actually environmental, which is in your hands. So they don't realize that, and as a result they never get around to doing anything about the environment. And that is something that I passionately talk about, that creating an healing environment, or an environment where your body can heal, your body immune system can feel safe and protect safe, so that it can sort of come back into balance, is really important if you want to see improvements, if you want to reverse your condition, right? And it happens again and again that when I work with my clients, when they start to give a message to their body with their actions every single day, to their immune system, that it is a safe world, that they basically address their negative thinking, they work on their mindset, they see huge improvements with or without making changes in their diet, right? So these all go hand in hand. And but if people are not made aware of this, the fact that 75% of this is due to their environment, they remain stuck in what I call a disease merry-go-round. So they go round and round in circles. They try one treatment after another, they try one medication after another, but they don't see any results or real improvements, right? So they remain stuck for the rest of their life. And in fact, this is where we were stuck for almost 5 years. So my daughter, and I've shared this story earlier, had severe eczema, which is again a form of immune dysregulation, some allergies, etc. They're all connected, by the way. And we were trying out one medication after another. We had excellent doctors, we had a very good care team, but in spite of that, and we had tried multiple doctors, her condition was not coming under control, right? It was barely under control with the help of these medications. And it was only after a very severe health crisis that I was forced to do some in-depth research, and that's when I found out that none of these medications actually addressed the true root causes, and that's why we were stuck in this disease merry-go-round, and we were never able to get off it. So one of the most important steps, apart from addressing my daughter's gut health, is something is the fact that I actually reduced or lowered my daughter's toxic burden by focusing on her immediate environment. So I went around completely changing the laundry products. In fact, in those days, and I'm talking about 2014, so many years back, these eco-friendly non-toxic products were not available. So I used to use soap nuts, real soap nuts, or Rita as we call it in India, and that's what I used to put in small muslin bags and put it in the laundry. That's how my clothes used to get cleaned. For conditioning, fabric conditioner, I used to only, and actually that's one of the best recipes that you can actually ever use is vinegar and some essential oils, right? It softens your clothes. So I made all these changes: laundry, cleaning products, detergents, as I mentioned, switching to organic produce wherever possible, all the groceries, etc. Buying a HEPA air filter so that it could filter out all the particulate matter, dust, pollen, allergens from the air. So while she was sleeping, changing the shower filter, adding in a shower filter actually to filter out the water. These were just some of the things that I did over a period of time, right? It was quite overwhelming because I had to figure it out by myself, but but my clients luckily don't have to go through this whole process. It took me many years, several years, to get to that point where I could say that by and large things were pretty much stable. But now I actually do these workshops with my clients on lowering the toxic load inside their body with the help of certain foods like cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, kale, cauliflower. These are all superb, and leafy greens. They can really help support our liver detoxification process. So not only you need to focus on your external environment, which I just discussed, you also need to focus on your internal environment. All of this actually helps to reduce the toxic load that you have. Okay, so this is one important thing. And finally, I'll be sharing with you a bit more about how you can create or even find a community that will help to encourage and support you in this healing journey. This is one area. Again, community is something that I've talked about, I've written about, and you need to focus on this as well if you want to not only get well but stay well. Right? It's not just about getting better, but it's about sustaining that health and wellness. My name is Anindita, and I'm a functional medicine certified health coach, and I work with women with autoimmune conditions and discover their own power to heal with their bodies as their guide. So the thing is, when you have the company of and support of like-minded individuals who are on a similar journey, it becomes so much easier. It becomes so much easier to stay on track. It becomes make positive changes in your life, because most people don't really know how to reach out for support and guidance, and even whom to reach out for support and guidance, right? So while their doctors can of course give them and do give them the medications and the treatments that they need, they are not in a position to give them the emotional support that they need, the day-to-day small things that make a huge difference in their life, right? And the emotional part of it plays a big role in helping them to stay motivated, because it's really hard. And then so they end up feeling lonely, isolated and unheard when they are dealing with any chronic condition. As it is, living with a chronic illness is really, really isolating. And then on top of that, if you're trying to make any changes in your diet by going off certain foods, and then you're planning to socialize, as socializing becomes hard. Then if you're trying to change your lifestyle, if you're trying to change your sleep habits, it's really hard, because nobody seems to understand around you what you're really doing and why. And it's hard to actually create new healthy habits and stick to it. So I was lucky that I got that kind of support from my husband, from my mother, from my family, from my brother, and the rest of the family, when I was trying to make all these changes in our lives, because I had figured out that these were important stuff, right? These were some of the things that I needed to make changes in so that I could create an environment for healing my daughter's body. But but to suddenly go off gluten, and it was so many years ago, and and it's not always that we see immediate results, right? So it takes time to see improvements, to see results. So then having that faith and the conviction, along with that, you need the support of your family or some such community. So some of your own family members can encourage and support you with this, but if you don't have that kind of support from your family members, you can reach out to communities who specifically work with different disease conditions. And you can find that on Facebook, or typically Facebook has a lot of these communities. Plus you can work with a health coach. You can actually guide and provide you with the encouragement, support, and most importantly the accountability that you need. And that's something that I do for my clients. I am the accountability partner, and I hold them accountable when we discuss something. So if we have, for example, discussed that my client will be going for walks just to move her body, say 3 times a week for 30 minutes, you can be rest assured that in the next coaching session, she knows that we will be discussing that. Was she able to do it? If not, why not? How could I possibly support her in that, right? So all these things are a big part of your healing journey, and community is often a missing piece. And I know this because I know firsthand how difficult it is to get the right kind of support. And because of that, I'm excited to announce that I am launching a podcast which is called Embrace Your Healing Journey, to guide, inspire and motivate you. And there is a wait list, so you can click on the link in bio and join the wait list when it launches in December. Plus, I actually have I have a community. It's a free private Facebook group, and it's called Embrace Your Healing Journey podcast. So it's again, it's going to sort of be connected to the podcast that I'm launching, so that you never, again feel alone in your healing journey. So there will be, I'll be talking about various aspects of autoimmune conditions, chronic illnesses, in physical aspects, emotional aspects, spiritual aspects. There'll be mindfulness sessions, there'll be journaling. So it's going to be a mix of all these things. But the most important thing is that you will feel uplifted and energized to create a new reality guided by your own body. So head to the link in bio or head to the link below and sign up for the waiting list. And you can also choose to join our free private Facebook group that's also called Embrace Your Healing Journey.